I'm Christy Simons, Adult Services Librarian for the Irondequoit Public Library, and we're here this month talking about Seneca Falls inheritance. And I have a friend with me named Linda, who's been in the book discussion group for years, so she's going to tell us a little bit about what brought you to the book discussion group and how long have you been in it?
Well, I've been retired 10 years, and when I was a teacher, I didn't have much time to read adult literature. I spent most of that time reading children's literature. So since I've been retired, I have really enjoyed coming to the book discussion group and participating.
So you've come about 10 years?
About 10 years now.
What do you enjoy about the group, Linda?
Well, I like the fact that it introduces us to a variety of books, some that I might not normally pick up and read on my own. I like the broad scope.
Yeah. I also like the fact that we like to laugh in that group, too.
Yes, that's a very enjoyable group of people.
It's an enjoyable group. It's a lot of fun. And we do get some men, too. So if you're a male viewer and you're watching this YouTube video, please come to our book discussion group. Well, anyway, we did choose Seneca Falls Inheritance for the month of January. And the reason we chose this book was because the author is a local. Miriam Grace Momfredo is local to Rochester, and she wrote a series of books having to do with local history in this area. And when we had our discussion, Linda was very enthusiastic about the book, as were all the attendees, but I wanted Linda to come and share her impressions of Seneca Falls Inheritance. So what did you think?
Oh, I really enjoyed the book. In fact, I'm reading other books in the series. I liked the way that it used both fiction and real history in a very believable combination to present how important this area is, Rochester and the cities along 5 and 20, Geneva and Waterloo and Seneca Falls, the role that they played in the women's rights movement and in the issue of the abolition of slavery. Both of those topics were influenced by people that lived in this area heavily. And I think she does a wonderful job of presenting that with some very well-rounded characters.
One character that was a favorite of mine, of course, was the librarian.
Glynis.
Glynis.
Right?
So tell us a little bit about the librarian in this story.
Well, Glynis is an unusual woman for her time. She has chosen not to marry and to have a profession instead as a librarian, and so she's gone to Oberlin College, and she's now the librarian for the city of Seneca Falls. And as librarian, she knows a lot of people and gets involved in a couple of murder mysteries that happen in Seneca Falls. But she also is heavily involved in the women's rights movement, and through her we learn about Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Cady Stanton, and in further novels we meet people like Frederick Douglass and Elizabeth Blackwell, who is the first woman doctor in this area.
Right. And what's also more interesting as well, those things about Glynis, she has a little romance with the town police officer, what was he considered, a sheriff at that time, the town sheriff. So
the constable.
If you want to read a great book, a great mystery with a lot of local history in it, you'll want to pick up books by Miriam Grace Momfredo. We suggest you start with Seneca Falls Inheritance, since that's first in the series, and it does get better and better, and the romance continues. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next month.